Dr. Janardhan Rao, working in Aeronautical Engineering College. Today my topic is directory structure. Already we are discussing about file mounting and file structure, file operations and all. Today we'll discuss what is directory structure and how the files are being arranged in the structure, and we will see this one. So single level structure, that is as we have seen, the file will, once the file is saved in the hard disk, automatically the index of the file will be saved in somewhere in the hard disk. At the same time, this is nothing but directory structure, and these files are saved in the directory. So how this directory is saved, how the directory is maintained in the hard disk. So the simplest method is to have one big list of all files on a disk. As you have seen, this is our hard disk. In this hard disk, so some place is created for the this drive. Already we seen in this previous session. So whatever files available in this one, in this C drive and D drive. So next to this one or top of this one, the OS will create the directory for these files. So that's what how these files are arranged in this directory. We'll see this one. So that is a single level structure. Single level structure means, so the simplest method is to have one big list of all files on the disk for that particular what we say that list of files in the drive. So we'll maintain the record of these files in the directory. So the directory contains one entry for each file present on the file system. So as we know that once the files are saved in the hard disk, these are the hard disk, these are disks and C drive and D drive like this. So whatever files available in this C drive, so in this one, the C drive in the below or above the C drive, we will maintain the directory, and whatever files saved in this drive, that will be maintained in this one. That's what meaning is. The directory contains one entry for each file. Whenever the file is created, and that entry will be maintained in this directory. So that is the index of the file, you can say. So this type of directories can be used for simple systems, a single level directory and files. This is one directory root. There is no root and all. There is only one file, one directory and files. Simply one file. So methods, image files, documents, MP4, text files. So under this one, we will maintain this like this. This is single level directory. In the single level directory, the things are maintained like this. So we will see the direct section. What are the advantages? So implementation is very simple. If the size of the files are very small, then searching becomes faster. So file creation, searching, deletion is very simple since we have only one directory. So what are the disadvantages of this this single level directory? Cannot have two files with the same name. So directory may be very big, therefore searching for a file may take so much time. Protection cannot be implemented for multiple users. There are no ways to group the same kind of files. The task of choosing the unique filing name is little bit complex. So this is, if you go for this another one, a two-level directory. The two-level directory, as the diagram depicting that master directory, user 1, user 2, user 3. So under user 1, so we got the file entries, file entry, and file entry, and under this one we got different files, and in the user 2 and another entry. So like this we'll make two level. That is a two-level directory. The two-level directory is another type of directory structure. In this, it is possible to create an individual directory for each of these users. So there is one master node in the two-level directory. This is master level. This is our master level. So in two-level directory, that includes an individual directory for every user. At the end, at the second level of the directory, there is a different directory present for each of the users. Without the permission, no user can enter into the other's user directory. This is because they are separate. So different directories are there. So one user for one user, one directory for user 1. He will file all his files in one user, the one directory, unless another user will save his files under his prescribed level or area. So user 3 also same way, because user 1 cannot access user 2 because they will be separated each other. So the characteristics of two-level directory. The characteristic of the two-level directory are, in a two-level directory there may be same file name of for different users. So this is one user, this is another user. So same file may be same, but users are different. It is possible in this two-level directory because two users are different. So automatically we can have same file name for different users. So there is a path name of each file, such as username 1 and directory name and file name, like this. So as you know, the path of the file, so username, the directory name, and file name. So like this we keep the path. The OS will create. We don't create. That OS automatically create once the file is saved under user 1 and directory 1. Then automatically the path is created like this: username slash directory name slash and the file name. So in a two-level directory, we cannot group the files which are having the same name into a single directory for a specific user. So that's what we are discussing. No two files will have the same name. So in a two-level directory, searching is more effective because there is only one users list which is required to be traversed. At a time, we use one user. So that is so easy it is. So if you can direct a section, if you look at this one, this is a two-level directory. The master directory is there, user 1, user 2, user 3, and user 1 user directories. This is the file saved here. The files will be saved in the under one users, like this. So this is one path. If we want to find the path for this one, so we will come like this and like this. This is the path. So similarly, if you advantage of the two-level directory. The advantage of two-level directory are, in a two-level directory, one user cannot share the file with another user. So another disadvantage with the two-level directory, it is not scalable. So what are advantages of the two-level directory? The advantages of two-level directory are, in the two-level directory, various users have the same file name and also directory name. Because of this, using the user grouping and path name, searching of files are quite easy. So this is the two-level directory. If you go to little bit one step ahead, tree structure directory. So in the tree structure directory, a tree structure directory is another type of directory structure in which the directory entry may be subdirectory or a file. The tree structure directory reduces the limitations of two-level directories, cannot group the same type of files into one directory. In a tree structure directory, there is an own directory of each user, and any user is not allowed to enter into the directory of the another user. The user can read data of root. The user cannot modify or write it. The system administrator has full access to the root directory. So these are the tree structure. You will see this is a tree structure. This is a root, and this is directory 1. This is root directory. Under this one, we'll have this tree type. Tree type like this. Tree type pattern is there. In this one, the files will be saved under root 1 directory 1, directory 2, directory 3, like this. So files will be saved. This is a root. What are the root nodes are there? They are the files. So advantage of tree structured directory. The tree structured directory is very scalable. In the tree structure directory, the chance of collision are less. So in the tree structured directory, the searching is quite easy because in this we can use both types of paths, which are the absolute path and relative path. So what are the disadvantages in the tree structure directory? The tree structure directory, the files cannot be shared. That is one. Another one, in tree structure directory is not efficient because in this, if we want to access file, then it may go under multiple directories because that file is saved in the one directory, and under the directory another directory, under directory, that like this. So number of directories will be saved, will be there. The file maybe ultimately will be one of the directory. So we have, it will take a little bit time to access the required file. So another type is acyclic graph directory. In this one, in the tree structure directory, the same files cannot exist in the multiple directories. So sharing the files is the main problem. With the help of this acyclic graph directory, can provide the sharing of files. In this acyclic graph directory, more than one directory can point to similar files or subdirectory, share those files among the two directories. We'll see the diagram. So, what are the advantages of a cyclic graph directory? In this cyclic graph directory, the sharing of files is possible in the cyclic graph directory because of different paths. Searching is easy. So, a disadvantage of cyclic graph directory, in the if the files are shared through linking, there may be a problem in the case of deleting. If we are using soft link, if the file is deleted, then there is only a dangling pointer which is left. So if we are using hard link, then we delete the file, then also have to remove all the references connected to this one. So this is a general graph directory. So that is sharing is possible in this one. The general graph directory is another vital type of directory structure. In this type of directory, within a directory, we can create cycle of the directory where we can derive the various directory with the help of more than one parent directory. So this is parent directory, root. This is root directory. Under this, another directory. So we can have cyclic, cyclic. So like this is also cyclic. So the main issue in this general graph directory is to calculate the total space or size taken by the directories and the files. So this is a main we have to calculate. So advantage of general graph directory. The general graph directory is more flexible than other directory structure. Cycles are allowed in the general graph directory. So disadvantages of general graph directory is, so in general graph directory, garbage collection is required. The general graph directory is more costly among the other directory structures. So we'll see what is file mounting, the file systems. The file mount system is the part of the operating system which is responsible for all management, for all file management. It provides a mechanism to store the data and access the file contents, including data and programs. Some operating systems treats everything as a file, for example, Ubuntu. So as normally, if you look at one, the operating system will treat everything as a file only. Whatever you want to save in the hard disk, the OS will treat everything, whether it is a program or a document, anything, it will treat as a program file only, file system. So the file system takes care of the following issues. You'll see. So file system is these are the programs in the OS to maintain like process management, memory management. The file system also there is some programs which are available in OS to maintain file structures, directory structures like this. So how we can save the programs in the hard disk and how efficiently we can retrieve the data from the hard disk. That is the main purpose of this file system. The file structure. Files can be stored in various data structures. The task of this file system is to maintain an optimal file structure. So this is a file structure. The recurring space. Whenever a file gets deleted from the hard disk, there is a free space created in that disk. There can be many such spaces which need to be recovered in order to reallocate them for other files. So as we discussed, so this is our hard disk. This is our hard disk. So once this is C drive, D drive, like this. Suppose one file is saved here. So at the same time, underneath this drive itself, we'll have the directory. So whenever this file is deleted, so now deleted means that space is created. empty space is created in this one. At the same time, the relevant whatever the regarding this file, whatever the in the directory, that should also remove. That's what we have seen in the previous slide. So that is recovering the free space. So that whatever the once the file is deleted or removed from the hard disk particular space, so whatever space available after removing that space is whatever is available, that we must be able to, our OS must be able to reallocate to some other program where the user want to save. The file system mounting. The operating system organizes files and disks using file system, and these file systems differ with the operating systems. So, a greater number of file systems available for Linux. One of the great benefits of the Linux is that we can access data on any different file systems, even if these files are from different operating systems. In order to access file systems in the Linux, first we need to mount it. Mount in the sense is saving only. Mounting refers to make a group of files in a file system structure accessible to user or group of users. It is done by attaching root directory from one file system to the other. This ensures that the other directory of our device appears as a directory or subdirectory of the system. So this is a file system mounting. So file system may be mounted read only. So or have other restrictions imposed. So this is files. This is a root. This is a root. This is a root. This is a root like this. From here, the wherever files saved here, then it is a path, or it may be path. So this is a file mounting system. This already there are programs in the OS to manipulate the files and manipulate the directories and maintain the file systems mounting. The traditional Windows OS runs on an extended two-tier directory structure. We already seen there. The first tier of the structure separates volumes by drive letters, and a tree structure is implemented below that level. So Macintosh runs a similar system where each new volume that is found is automatically mounted and added to the desktop when it is found. So more recent Windows systems allow file systems to be mounted to any directory in the file system, much like Unix. File sharing. The file sharing is a public or private sharing of computer data or space in the network with various levels of access privilege. So while access files can easily be shared outside network, the term file sharing almost always means sharing files in a network, even if it is small local area network also. So file sharing allows the number of people to use the same file or a file by some combination of being able to read or view it, right to modify it, so copy it or print it. So typically a file sharing system has one or more administrators. Users may all have the same or may have different levels of the access privileges. So file sharing is a concept. File sharing is also known as the file swapping. If the accessing or sharing of files by one or more users. So suppose somebody created the file, so that file may be accessed by some other person, some other user. So that is called file sharing. It is performed on computer networks as a quick way to transmit data. Generally, a file sharing system usually has more than one administrator, where the users may have the same or different access privileges. It is also implies having an allocated amount of the personal file in the common storage. File sharing has been used in mainframes and multi-user computer system for many years. So now the widespread access to the internet, a file transfer system known as the file transfer protocol or a FTP is widely used file sharing. So whatever in your system, one file is there, you want to transmit, you want to share to somebody else. So then nowadays we are sending through the FTP protocol to the end users or some other user. That is file sharing. So the World Wide Web is itself we can consider as a large-scale file sharing system where files are constantly downloaded or viewed by the web user. So in the file sharing system, the user can read and write in the file system. If their entire system is not available for access, at least the common file that is shared by the owner can be read and write onto. So certain issues raised when multiple users are allowed to access the files. The system can either grant access to the users by default or requires the user to specifically grant access to the files. So this causes problem of control and protection, and to implement sharing and protection, the system need to be maintain more files and directory attributes than it would be done in the case of the single user system. So we have to provide the protection for the files. So anybody cannot download, anybody cannot open the file and do the modifications. So we must be able to provide the protection for these files. So once file is saved in the hard disk or our system, there must be some protection. So that is protection refers to a mechanism which controls the access of the programs, process or users to the resources defined by computer system. So many users might safely share a common logical namespace such as directory or a file. So users want to protect the information stored in the file system from improper access and physical damage. So what is this is the main purpose. If somebody created the file on the desktop or system, so whether it is a server or not, related to anything, but the users who are accessing this file, they cannot do modification whatever they were. They cannot download without permission. This is only read some. We provide the protection of these files. To protect our information, one can make duplicate copies of the files. Some systems automatically copy the files to protect the user from losing important information if the original files are accidentally destroyed. So we'll put the backend in duplicate files. So there can be situations of hardware errors like extreme air temperature, vandalism, damage, head cross, failures, etc. They may cause damage to the files. So that we provide the security and we provide the protection. So to understand protection better, to understand the types of access, file sharing is a method of providing partial or full access of the users to the users of the file system. As multiple users have access to the same data, there is a need of protection, because everybody want to access the file and download it. They want to modify. It's not correct. So original will get damaged. So we must provide the security or provide protection. So one way to protect file system can be appropriate access. First of all, appropriate access. So everybody is not permitted to access the file. Maybe that is file sharing in the internet. But it is extreme scenario and it is not practical use. What is needed? Controlled access. It may be depend on various factors. Controlled access. So these are the following operations that can be controlled. So delete, append, execute, read, write, list. Protection is provided only at a lower level. For example, copying a file may be implemented by simply providing a sequence of read requests. In this scenario, user with read access can copy the file and print it and so on. But he cannot. So we provide the access control. There are a number of numerous ways to access any file. One of the prominent one is the associate identity dependent access with all files and directories. A list is created called access control list, which enlists the names of users and the type of access granted to them. So, however, it is very long. All possible users need to be listed down. This process can often tedious and unrewarding. So, especially if one doesn't have the list of users before the task. So, to resolve the situation, condense the length of the access control list, that is owner group universe. So owner means was created is always permitted to access the file. Group. So we will grant the permission. We will allow the permission to access the files. That is set of users sharing the same file. So universe, that is public. All the users can use it. All users, anybody can access. This is protection. Other way of protection is another approach to use passwords to enable access to the file system. So without password you cannot access. We provide the password for the access of the files. However, this method has certain disadvantages. That is, if one password is user for all the files, then in a situation where the password happen to be known by the other users, all the files will be accessible. It cannot be, it can be difficult to remember a lengthy and a large number of passwords. So this is a file system provide efficient access to the disk by allowing data to be stored, located, and retrieved in a convenient way. A file system must be able to store file, locate file, and retrieve the file. This is our basic concept. So every layer of this file system is responsible for some activity. If you look at this one, application programs, logical file systems, file aggregation module, basic file system, IO control devices. So this is how you provide the protection to the file system. So we'll see in the next class file system structure and what is this track, sectors, file aggregation in the coming next.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.